My name is Art Rude, and today I'm here as myself, although I'm appearing and putting this video as the number 2 video, the intro number 2 to my book. This is it, Political Cocaine, How America Got Hooked on the Two-Party System and How to Intervene. I think that's important. I can't stand to see the division in our country. And so I'm going to do everything I can to try to end that division. And I don't think that's possible with the two-party system in charge. It's constantly dividing our population. In fact, I would say that that's probably the purpose, keep us divided. So anyway, here's the book, and I think it's a good product. Of course, what's in it is what's important to me, the ideas, and I hope it will generate thought. I hope it'll cause you to think. I was a lifelong educator, teacher, and it's a good product. I mean, it's not excessively large print, but it's easy to read compared to most. But it's not like reading a novel. There's a lot of information here. In fact, I would say there's more information here than in almost any book out there these days. So see, if you're an independent author, one of the frustrating things, it's easy to get published, but you pay all the costs. And so this book, although I like the book and it's a good physical product, and I know people my age and in my general age class, they like to feel the book in their hands. I understand that. But it's too darn expensive, okay? If somebody's famous, they can run off 1 million copies to start with. But if you're an unknown author, you've got to run smaller amounts. And paper is very expensive these days, as well as, you know, putting fancy stuff on it, like this shiny cover with the picture. All of those things add up. And so I have a few copies. I can sell you a copy of this for $10, but to me, that's too high. But it's over $8 by the time it gets to me, in the small quantities that I have to order in, because I'm not a wealthy man and I'm not well known. So although this is a good product, I don't recommend the paper version. I think it's too damn expensive. So I do understand that many of you have never used an ebook, but yeah, I'm an old guy, but the ebook is clearly superior for certain types of information. And I'd like to show that to you. So I'm going to show you the book, but I'm going to show it to you on the ebook. Now, if you have a smartphone, or if you have some kind of a pad, or you have a computer, when you Google, for instance, my book, Political Cocaine, there's a bunch of things that'll come up. And the ebook is the best value, okay? The print version is priced at $12.95. And although I like the book, I wrote it, that's just too much. I'm sorry. And then if you're going to order it from Amazon and you're not a, what they call it, Amazon Prime subscriber, then you have to pay the shipping costs. And so my little book, although I think it's pretty good, it costs you essentially $20 to get that hard copy, to get that thing that you can hold in your hands. So I understand that. So, you know, thank you very much. But see, the other thing is I get hardly anything out of that $20, considerably less than $2. So this is the ebook, and it's much cheaper. If you buy the ebook and you put it on your phone or your pad, one of the things is once you have it installed, you can read it on any one of them. If you have your iPad with you or your tablet, or if you have your phone, you can start reading on here because it's easier in the morning or whatever. And then the thing that I like about it is just about all of us carry smartphones these days. And if you're stuck waiting for something, well, you can take out your phone and you can read books. My cousin carries over 100 books with her electronically. And you can just Go there at any time. So if you buy the book, it won't only be on your phone. It won't only be on your iPad. It won't only be on your computer. If you install it in all three, you can read it anywhere. So that's a real advantage. Also, there's no shipping. You buy it, boom, you download it, you got it. So there's no shipping costs, no warehousing, no print costs. See, and that's what really brings down the cost. But the content's all there. So here, I'll get into my iPad and I'll show you how it works. At least I think I will. There we go. Okay, when iPad first comes up, it has iBooks built in. It's this, I don't know if you can see it real well. It's this orange thing, looks like a book. And it's also up on this menu of quick feeds. But when you open that, when I press this little book picture, it'll open right up to the last book that I had open. And the last book I had open was my book, Political Cocaine. And here is the table of contents. Okay, now let me show you how you can deal with this now. Okay, as soon as I hit resume, it goes right back to the last place where I was reading. And so any of your other applications, or excuse me, your other hardware, like your phone or whatever, it'll come back to that same place that you were reading, regardless of which device it was on. So that's pretty handy too. Okay, but here's one of the things that I really like is you can highlight it. And as I already said, my purpose in writing the book is to try to give you some new information that'll cause you to think. And I want you to understand that it's valid information. You don't believe anything in this book? Research it yourself. And you're going to find out it's pretty good. But what a writer does is you try to make it more consumable. This does not read like a novel, okay? But it reads pretty darn well for something that has got as many facts and historical attributes to it. So I hope you'll consider it. But here's the part now. If it's something that causes you to think and something you'd like to go back to later, look how easy it is to highlight with this. Notice, if I say this paragraph right here is something that I like, all I have to do is touch the screen and it gets highlighted, okay? And then I can drag the edge of that little blue thing on the edge, and I can highlight whatever it is that I want, that I think is important. And the choices that come up, I don't know if you can see it, are to copy, to highlight, to note, to search, to share. So you could just share this passage with somebody if you thought it was important. You could copy it and put it into another document. But basically, I just press highlight. Now the highlight I've chosen here is green, and actually it was left over from what I highlighted over here. If you notice, they kind of got a color code of importance here. And green is right next to the yellow, so the yellow is kind of the brightest. I don't think this is as important as that. So now I'm going to go to a little cooler color is the way I look at it. So I'm going to choose this blue for this one. Okay, so now this section is blue, this section is green, and you can color code all these things. So when you find something, and I hope you find something in here that is significant, that you'll want to go back and think about it. And if you question it, wonderful. That's what I'm trying to encourage. Question everything. Look it up for yourself. There's truth here. Okay? Not like some of the things you see on the internet. Okay, and if I press that little arrow, see, it puts it back in the pile, and then I could read something else. Like here's George Orwell's 1984. Okay, and it takes just a little bit of time for it to open. There we go. There we go. All right, but I don't really want to read Orwell at this time. I'm showing you Political Cocaine. All right, so now how do you find out what's on there? Well, if I hold my finger on the page just a little bit, see that little bunch of bars right there? Here I tapped it now, so it thinks I want to highlight. Oh, let me show you this. This one right here, it's green colored. Now, that's a note. So if I want to make a note about something that I was reading, I can do that right now, say, right here. I don't have to go run for a sheet of paper or anything else. I don't have to mark up the book. These are just electronic marks, and I can make a note, and I can just say, okay, important. is all I'm going to say right there. Okay, now I'm going to go back over here. It says there's a note. Okay, now if I press this one right here, the one that had the list right next to the arrow, see, here's the contents. Here's everything that's in my book. Okay, here's a table of contents. But now if you look right next to it, it says bookmarks. So if I put a bookmark on a page, I put 2 bookmarks in. In chapter 3, the founders hated political parties, page 37, there's a bookmark. So if I press that, it'll automatically go there. Chapter 12, redefinitions, on page 174, I put a bookmark. So now if I want to hit that, I just go there. And any other bookmarks that I have will be listed right there. Okay, notes. I don't use notes very often, but here are the notes that I've taken, and it's from the things that I've highlighted. So I go to the notes page and I can see all of these things that I've highlighted throughout the text, and they're right there for quick access. What do you think? Isn't that pretty cool? Now, as I said, the book itself is lists, and I don't have any control over that. That's the thing. It lists for $12.95 because when they print them, they can't print very many of them because Art Rude is a nobody. And that's okay. I don't mind. But I would like people to check out the book. I would like people to start thinking for themselves instead of accepting this two-party debacle. Let's visit with our friends. Let's learn to be neighbors once again. And I think we can find a far better way than the confrontational two-party system. And I hope you'll consider my book, Political Cocaine. This one is $5.99. And as I said, for $5.99, it goes into all these different formats. And here's the kicker. It's less than half the retail of the paper book. But the author gets twice as much. Isn't that crazy? The ebook is half as expensive, but you help out my cause twice as much. But see, that's the problem. I got to get better at selling, and I don't want to sell the book as much as I want to sell the ideas in the book. I want you to think for yourself, and I want to stimulate that. I don't care if you've been in the Republican or the Democratic trench, because it is trench warfare. What choice did you have? You've been led to believe that's the only choices that you have. And I'd like you to think for yourself. And all you have to do is Google political cocaine. Just go to Google, type in political cocaine, should come right up. If not, type in political cocaine by me, Art Rude, then it should come up. It just kind of depends on your search history and whatever as to what will come up. But Political Cocaine by Art Rude. And then if you don't have time to read, it's now available in audiobook. So those of you who like the audiobooks, the nice part is somebody reads a book to you. In my case, I'll read it to you. So I hope you'll enjoy that. All right. So I hope you learned something about ebooks, and just think about it. You carry hundreds of books with you. And if you got a minute or two, take it out, do some reading. You can highlight, you can note. It's pretty cool. I hope you'll consider Political Cocaine. I think the ebook is by far the best value, for sure. But the paper book, I think it's pretty good too. Just too damn much, too much money. All right. Well, I hope you have a tremendous day, and I hope that you can be free of the terrible conflict between the Democrats and the Republicans. Hopefully you can think about alternatives, and we can learn to come together. I hope you have a great day. Remember that every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So unwrap your present carefully. I bet you there's some great things going to happen to you today. Have a great day.